Hi everyone, let's understand what is closure in Swift. So before understanding closure, let me write down three main points. It's a reference type. Second point is it's a function but without a name. And the third point is it can be stored as value. So these are three main points about the closure. Now let's consider a problem statement first. Find the sum of two numbers. Okay, so what I'm going to do, create a function sum of two number. Okay, now as we will go with the definition, so the reference type, we're good about it. First of all, what we are doing here first of all is like we need to convert this function into the closure. So we know that closure is also a function but without a name. So if closure is a function, let me first of all write down convert a function into closure. Okay, so what I will do, I will simply copy and paste this one. Why? Because as per definition it says that closure is also a function. We're good here, right? Now it says that but without a name, so we don't need name. Then we also can remove the func keyword. Now what we can do now is just to put this within the curly braces and then put the in keyword. Your closure is ready. Now the third point is says that it can be stored as value. So you can consider this as 10. Okay, so you can store, let's say, closure, and now in that case you can simply paste your closure. So now your closure is ready. Now if you need to use this closure, it's very simple. You can use closure, pass the parameter 10, 20. It will store here 10 and 20, find the sum and then return 30. So the output should be 30 here. Okay, very good. Now other point is how can we pass closure inside or let's say into a function as parameter. Simple, you can create function, apply closure. Okay, so let's say here, let me just first of all remove this one. Okay, we can say that this is a simple function, right, which is taking one integer value and then returning one integer value. Okay, now you can see here that this is a closure which is a function but without a name, and it can be stored as a value. So on the right side this closure can be considered as a value. So whenever you have a value, it always has a type, whether you explicitly define the type or not. For example, let's consider variable. Okay, let's say var salary equal to 100. Okay, so here you have not defined the explicit type of salary, but its type is integer. But there is another way you can do it, like salary of type int equal to 100 also. So there are different ways through which you can create a variable. So here we have created a variable, but we have not defined the explicit type. But the explicit type here, you can consider the type of the value it receive within the closure, right? So what you can do, you can simply copy and then define the type here and paste it here, right? Now one more thing, whenever we have a function, let's say some function, right, or we are passing the label here, but when we are declaring a variable, we are not passing the label here, so we don't need to pass the a and b here. We can simply pass a like int and then int. So this is the way you can explicitly define the type of the closure. Okay, so we good here. So now why I have discussed about this one, because here we are creating a function which will take closure as a parameter, like function receiving closure. Okay, so the type here will be this. Okay, and within that, what you can do, you can simply use this one and then let's say pass the 5 and 5, and now you can call this function. Okay, so the closure here is, you have already created a closure here, right? You can either pass here, so when you're passing the closure here, it means this piece of code will be passed as a value here, and then when you're calling, like the way we have called here, right, this piece of code will be executed. So either way you can consider this, like either you can pass this variable or you can pass this one. Okay, so this is a closure you are passing as a value. So whenever this closure will pass 5 and 5, this piece of code will be executed here and it will display here 5 plus 5, 10. Okay, so this is the simplest way of understanding closure. Hope it will be useful for iOS developers. Thank you.